Juhi ma'am. Oh gosh, I mean, what do I say? I'm speaking with a national treasure. I'm speaking with another huge superstar from Bollywood. So, I mean, welcome on Filme Shilmy and congratulations on Sharmaji Namkeen.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was a wonderful introduction. Treasure. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much and lovely to be with you. And yes, Sharmaji Namkeen is a very special film for many reasons. And I'm happy to talk about it. And I'm very glad that it's finally releasing on the 31st of March. So very, very soon.
Absolutely. Now, it's the first time I think Hindi cinema sees two legendary actors, Rishi Kapoor ji, the late Rishi Kapoor ji, and Paresh Rawal sir playing the same role. And you obviously have worked with them extensively throughout your career as well in many, many films. Um, but from the Juhi then, when you worked with them, to the Juhi Chawla now, what would you say has been the biggest shift in you as an actor? And how do you think that shift has sort of, I guess, transpired in the way you approach the role as well?
My goodness. Okay, you're making me reflect on all this. Well, I'd say when it comes to actually coming on the sets and doing anything, I feel like a newcomer every time. I know it sounds strange and you're like, oh, but you've been doing it, you've done it for so long. But no, it feels new every time because you're playing a different character and the director is new to you and you need to understand what he wants from you. So I'm always groping. Okay, is this okay? Am I doing all right? As far as working with Chintuji and Pareshji, with Chintuji, I've worked a lot more because, we starred in films together right from the beginning of my career, which was like way back when we did Kalpataruji's films. And yes, from being an absolute newcomer, completely like a nervous wreck in front of him, to then growing a little more comfortable and then becoming, I would say, in Sharmaji, I was watching him like a fan. Because the way he was doing his shots, we worked together, but there were gaps in between. So again, before Sharmaji, it's been a little while. We worked, he did a wonderful guest appearance in our film Chalk and Duster. Okay. And then before that, I think it was Luck by Chance. So it's been a while.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I was just, as an actor, I was almost envious of how easily he was flowing with his, his acting and his. So, yeah. So we had many fun moments where he scolded me on the sets and he said,
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, because his shots would go so well and I'm watching him and I'm thinking, oh my God. And the director's like, okay. And you know it by the sound that, this is a great shot. You're like, how am I going to match up to this? I better do well as well. And I would go running to the monitor to see my shots after every, like, hair okay? Am I looking good? Have I done the moment properly? And he'd like scold me like, why are you behaving like this? Why are you such an insecure actor? Hitesh, why do you allow the actors to do this? The monitor is only for the director. It's not for the actors. So we used to have some very fun times on the sets. Very, very fun.
Right. And ironically,
Pareshji I've worked with in films, but he like always, we weren't like actually opposite each other. This was the first.
Right. True. That's true. And ironically, also, Bol Radha Bol celebrates 30 years this year as well. So it's quite interesting as well how this film has come out at that time as well. I mean, unfortunately, it's also released after Rishiji has passed away. But it's interesting again how fate has plans and, this has come out. So I just wanted to highlight that. But
yeah, that's a lovely film as well. Very nice.
Yeah, true. But I think, Juhi ma'am, be it Sharmaji Namkeen, Ek Ladki Ko Dekha, or My Brother Nikhil, to name a few, you've often played characters that are very positive figures when it comes to progression and societal acceptance regarding a certain issue or a problem that's been developed through a narrative. How doted and encouraging of social change are you in real life as well?
In one simple way, that's what heroines were always be the positive character. That's where I come from, where you stand for on screen and hopefully in real life as well. And what is good, in the end, good triumphs. I think a classic Hindi film used to be like this. Now, of course, we've gone all over the place with subjects being screen. I follow that. And in personal life, I try to be accepting of change. It's not always comfortable. It's not always convenient. But you try and accept. And that's it. That's all you have to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, true.
कुछ वॉर पे जाने की जरूरत नहीं होती है. कुछ आंदोलन, you just, if there is something happening, you accept it.
Right. Now, I think speaking of change and acceptance, when we did our podcast actually back in 2020, it was a very interesting chat because it was about life and the journey that you had and the failures that you've learned from. And I think you were very honest actually in accepting how you developed an ego at one point in your life and your career, at the pinnacle stage of your career.
Find Anuj, this when you old friends and people who have interviewed you before, they will bring up things that you really don't really want to know again. No, I'm fine with it.
There's a very good positive spin to this also, so don't worry. So what I was going to say is that, how important is it actually for an actor, Juhi ma'am, to forego arrogance, to forego that ego aspect and surrender to the craft? I think that's basically that's what I find really fascinating about the way you've kind of come up with your story about that.
It's so true. Like, you'll see a lot of people may have lived it wise enough to not make that mistake, but a lot of people, when success comes, it goes to your head and then you just don't think straight anymore. And at that moment, you don't even realize that you're starting to go wrong. You're making the wrong decisions because you're flying so high.
Yeah.
So, I say it is all for the better, whether it happened to me or it happens to anybody else. It's okay because we really, really learn much more from failures than we do from success. And it really, what do you say? वो क्या बोलते हैं? Takes off all those rough edges.
Oh yeah, तराश है.
तराश देता है वो सब. And who you become is a much better person than who you were. So at the end, it's all worth it. And like I recently read or heard that failure is an event, not a person.
Very good. Yeah.
So you go beyond it, and it's another story to tell. See, we have something to talk about.
Yeah.
If I had known only a success, Anuj, I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be like, "Kaun Anuj?"
Yeah, to be honest, this Kaun Anuj question I've been asking myself since I was like 15 years old. So don't worry about that. I totally resonate with that. No, but it's true. I think it's good. It does give us a talking point and a reflecting point in our life, and that is something which, again, you've been a testament to. But I think another thing about you, Juhi ma'am, as well, like, you've never been one to adhere to conventions. I mean, your first film, Sultanate, was obviously a magnum opus, and then you had potboilers like Prema Loka and QSQT, which kind of broke the glass ceiling for you. But I think also, despite the diversification of work, we all love and admire you as the chulbuli characters that you've played. I mean, just your laugh and that smile you bring is something which we all really, really enjoy watching. But do you kind of how do you feel like this? How do you feel like this abundance of work is coming your way now, especially due to the innovative OTT content that we're seeing nowadays? Like, how does it feel for you to explore this diversification of work coming your way now as an actor?
I'm pleasantly surprised, and I feel very fortunate. present, that I can still be there and acting and being approached for, pivotal roles, um, which are interesting, and they are interesting because now OTT platforms allow you this luxury of time. So characters are explored, and they're not only the hero and heroine, they are the characters around them. And so there's space for actors to perform and stories to be told in aram se. Because earlier we just had, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and come on with it. Some of the most beautiful parts of a film would get cut off, on the editing table, because you just can't have a long film.
Yeah.
But when you have this, that it's okay, let's explore the situation, the moment, the act, the story, you really have place for more people to be a part of that project, and in a nice way. So that kind of work coming around me now is very, very lovely. As for being some kind of a path breaker, anything like that, I don't know if I did that in the past. And really, it was not my design. It all just happened. It's God's grace that He gave me the roles He did, beginning right from, say, Sultanate, which was at that time, it was a huge film being made. And they had approached me because, Miss India and all that. So I went and gave an audition, and really I got lucky that they said, okay, you're chosen. I'm like, acha, chosen. And I took that chance because I said, it's such a big film being made, and, we didn't go looking for it. They came to us. So that started it. That unfortunately didn't work. But then fortunately for me, I got the chance to be in Nasir Saab's film, Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak, which at that time was a no film. They were like, what is this film? Who are these people acting in it? Who is this director? Everybody was new. And Nasir Saab, as a production house, had 3 failures before that. So, a huge film like Sultanate didn't work, but then a small film like QSQT just came and blossomed. So I say it is all God's grace, and I'm just ever grateful.
And I think what the beauty as well about a film like Sharmaji Namkeen is the fact that it's a simple story. I think what a lot of us are missing. See, it's great that, where cinemas are now opening up and we're seeing the magnum opuses, but I think somehow the audiences are able to relate to simple stories a lot more now. Because I feel like, for example, when the days when you were, you're obviously at the peak of your career always, of course. And I don't mean it in...
I like you.
Thank you. The time when you were like prominently growing and all of that, there was that ideology of it being escapist cinema and masala cinema. But now I see this shift of, simple stories, real stories. I think that must really appeal to you, because you're definitely no stranger to doing real stories. So I guess seeing that shift for you must be quite satisfying, right?
Yeah, I see that earlier, I think we had simpler lives as people generally. And for us, the dream was there. That's how we're going to dance. That's how we're going to, when you saw a screen, that's my heroine, that's my hero. And these are the dresses I want to wear. I think now what's happened is, in cities especially, everybody has everything. Young girls, young boys, everybody's well-dressed, everybody has mobile phones, everybody has everything. And now what appeals to people like that is, where's the real people, the real little India, their real little moments, their quirkiness? Because otherwise it's all become too plastic, too perfect, it's just no grand. It's like how our cities have become all steel and mortar and glass. All our buildings are like that. There's now no character there. Now the characters are in the little people and their little lives.
Right.
So I don't know if I said that.
Yeah. No, I get. I
what
get
I'm.
what you meant. Yeah, I get what you meant. Is that people are wanting to know more about the lesser known figures within our society and getting that sort of an insight into their lives, right? That's basically what you're trying to
हाँ, क्योंकि उसमें मिट्टी की खुशबू है, उसमें
do.
relationships है, उसमें एक warmth है, उसमें एक fun भी है, and that is Sharmaji Namkeen. He is in your little Subhash Nagar. He has just been retired from his work as a sales manager in, what is that company's name? He says it 2-3 times. मधुबन appliances की उनको बस अभी retire कर दिया गया. And now he comes back to his home and he has 2 grown up in college, one's in working. And now what does life?
Yeah.
That's where it begins. It is adorable.
Absolutely. That is so true. And I think it's all about second chances in life, which is something which I took away from the trailer also, you know. I love that whole theme of second chances. But I think, you know, Juhi ma'am, I believe this is your first OTT venture, actually, technically, and first OTT release. And I believe you also have another project in the pipeline called Hush Hush, which very little is known about it, and the fact that it's a thriller genre, which is something which we've not seen you do a lot prominently. I mean, you've done a dark role in a film like Gulab Gang. I mean, what a great performance that was. But I guess how much is like doing a role like Hush Hush also like push your boundaries as an actor and pushed you to the dark side, shall we say?
Actually, I'm very surprised you're asking me this. Ek to, when you were speaking, I said nothing much has been said about this project. It's Hush Hush. भाई अभी तो जब भी वो रेडी हो जाएगा तो फिर सब उसके बारे में हम बोलेंगे. Yes, so that this, I would say, Sharmaji Namkeen is like a real little film. You know how I would normally do a film? It's a film. Now it's being released on OTT. But in its nature, it's what I'm used to doing, which is totally different. That's like your how do I say, thriller story, high society setup.
Elite class.
Yeah, things happen there. So that was different for me. And yeah, the character I played over there, haven't done it quite before. Why I did it? Because Tanuja Chandra is the director, and I've seen her and known her since, you know, Mahesh Bhattji's time. You know, she's assisted him. So we met over years, but never had a chance to work. Know her from then, and she said, "Your first choice for this role of." It's a very central character. It's actually the whole episode. One woman.
Oh wow! Okay.
In a way, yeah. So that's why I said okay. But it is very different from what I have done before.
That is incredible.
Yeah, very very different. It does have a little dark side to it. Alag hai.
I'm rooting to see the darker Juhi. I mean, I love your smile, but it's good to see making others cry. I think once in a film or a series. I think that'll be really interesting to see how that happens.
Let's see how it comes.
Yeah, definitely. But I think on an also, I think like I think just looking at your sort of filmography and the style of work you've done. Again, I talked about that whole social change, how much you are devoted to that earlier on in the interview. But I think what I also really like is how you've used your commercial appeal to address several subjects, again, so social subjects again, whether it is homosexuality in Ek Ladki Ko Dekha or On My Brother Nikhil, mental health awareness actually in films, in pretty much many of your films actually. I think mental health is a very prominent theme in your movies. Then issues like adultery in movies like Salame-Ishq, and of course stalking in Dar. So what topic would you say you'd be keen on exploring next? And do you have the interest to normalize such conversations beyond cinema, like whether it's to talk about a certain subject and then carry it out in real life too?
So Anuj, honestly, very very honestly, so when you go to watch cinema, it's not about you go that, oh, this film deals with a certain subject. You go because it is entertaining enough. At the same time, it gives you a message. But if it's just a message, nobody's listening. कोई नहीं आता पैसे देके ticket लेके to hear a message. So I would say I do films where I feel the whole script is just working. The story, has a message, is Sone Pe Suhaga. But first, it has to work as a story, a script. So I just listen to the script, and it's not even कि मैं क्या कर रही हूँ film में और मैं क्या कर रही हूँ, but is it working beginning to end?
Right.
That's my way of making a choice. I say again, it was not my design, but films like, say, you said like Ek Ladki Ko Dekha, or My Brother Nikhil, or others have different kind of themes. But these, say, suppose these, we just take these. They came and they were well written. On paper, they were just so well written. There was no reason to say no. And I was always playing a very, like you said, I'm very happy that they choose me to do some positive role in the film.
Yeah.
And in some way, I'm also a very normal person in the film, where my reactions, okay, chalo, in My Brother Nikhil, she's very accepting of it straight away because it's her brother and she may be shocked by what's happened, but she stands for him. But she's a normal sister. She's not some path-breaking sister or anything. In Ek Ladki Ko Dekha, the reactions are that of which would happen in any household. The way they dealt with the subject was because you must have all points of view. You must have everything and then leave the audience to take home what they want.
True.
So I was lucky that they chose me to play a lovely role in the film. And again, I say it's really, it all happens. It all happens.
Naturally, right?
Yeah, I can't say that I say that, okay, give me a subject which will be something like this or that. When it comes, I read it and I just take it from there.
Right. But I think also, Juhi ma'am, I think the biggest challenge is, I think, for any actor today is the fact that हम एक ऐसे world में रह रहे हैं जो एक actually काफी woke world है. Opinions are constantly expressed, and especially on social media, there's often opinions thrown at you, and artists are often considered to be this I guess this on a pedestal of every opinion, of everything. They have to have a say on everything. That's what people think. And how concerned are you actually by this? I mean, how have you been coping actually as an artist in this world that we're living in today?
Yeah, it does happen that they expect. I read this some time ago also. It's like, why is it that? And like, I'll just give another example, not take actors, but like suppose tomorrow it's Sachin Tendulkar, iconic player cricket, super ones on the field. Now that's what he devoted his whole life to be. Now he may come and do an ad, but you mustn't expect that he is going to be a great actor. That's unfair to him. Now, if he is giving a speech somewhere, don't expect him to be an orator. That's your expectations of him, and you want him to be that as well. But if he can do it, that's great. But if he can't, hey, he's a fantastic cricketer, and that's what he was meant to be. All this is happening. He doesn't have to excel at everything to please you. The same way I feel about actors. I'm an actor. I don't have to have the right words for situations or for things which are not related to me and which are far out and of which I may not have the full information. So at those moments and at many moments, at least I personally say, listen, don't ask me because I don't know enough and I don't want to just be out there talking. कुछ बोलना है तो कुछ अच्छा बोलो क्या सोच समझ के बोलो,
Hmm.
बोलने के लिए बोलो मत. At least I feel so. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely. Very true. I think it's about finding that middle ground and finding that balance, isn't it, with life? And I think that's something which we all as a society are sort of aiming to get as well. But I'm actually really curious to know, G man, because you obviously talked about the films that I mentioned and about how they were very written well on paper and all of that, and they really were good films. What makes you reject a script actually? What makes you not take up a project, especially nowadays, perhaps?
Oh, I don't know if I've done the right things again, but yes, again, if very, very simply, if a script has not held my attention, and I may have sometimes, so then I have said no. if if these are if there are moments in the film that I cannot relate to, or I do not want my children to watch, I have said no. This goes for even advertising for things at many moments. If these are not products that I would feed my children now, like I know you will say, "Arey, but in the past you've done something," but I have learned
Exactly.
now with time and said no. If this is not right for my children, I will not sell it to your children. If I feel these are not the films that I want my children to watch, I will not be in that film encouraging your children to watch. So, I mean, these are sort of, I'm trying to live. It's not that I'm perfect or that I will always be right, but this is मेरी कोशिश है कि जो करो ना अच्छा करो. So whoever sees it, it's a good thing. I'm trying.
Absolutely. And I think that's a very good note to end on as well, because that's exactly what Sharmaji Namkeen is also about. It's all about trying and striving for that better life and for your passion. And I think, again, Juhi Chawla is a very huge testament to that. But honestly, Juhi ma'am, it's always such a pleasure to speak with you. I just love the energy you bring to all our conversations, and even in that podcast that we did, which the link will be in the description below, so do check it out, viewers. So yeah, it was so lovely, and wishing you all the very best for Sharmaji Namkeen, and congratulations, and wishing you all the very best, and I can't wait more amazing projects coming your way.
Thank you very much. Pleasure talking to you. And if you have time, watch Sharmaji Namkeen with your family, because
Yes.
I think after quite a while you have a movie which is a family entertainer, like totally a family sweet film. So yeah,
We will definitely do that.
hope you enjoyed.
We will definitely do that, ma'am.
Okay, see you. Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.
उल्टी सीधी जैसी भी हो फैमिली है.
तू किसी का लोड मत ले पंडित, रब का नाम ले और चढ़ जा चौपर में.
Baby doll, मैं सोने की, ओ baby doll, मैं सोने की.